Hello, hello! Basil here with a special Pokemon Challenge video. Today we find out if you can beat Pokemon Red using a single level 100 Charizard. We start off properly by naming ourselves Baz and then naming some dirtbag who keeps getting in our way. We wake up at home and head out on our adventure. The rules for today will be we only ever have Charizard, and no items can be used in battle. At Oak's lab we've replaced Charmander so that our rival will pick Squirtle, the most difficult route for us. We pick up our Charizard, who we named Charizard, for reasons that will be obvious later. Using some time travel and math, turns out we've got a lady lizard, and she's ready for her first fight. Our rival doesn't provide much of one, though, going down in a single attack, and we are off running the professor's errands. After that, we get the Pokedex, which we won't be using, and zip off to Viridian Forest. I couldn't say it was an interesting trip, but a few things did pop up and had to be chased away. While there, we face off against several bugs and their Pokemon, which was hardly a challenge at all. Once we've arrived at the Pewter City Gym, we face off against a small trainer, and then Brock, the Pewter City Gym leader, who falls fairly easily enough. With that done, we enter a cave, and caves happen to be my weakness. I get lost very easily. After running into countless Zubat, Paras, and Rocket Grunts, I find a grunt and a creepy scientist guarding some fossils. They are soundly defeated and offer one of the fossils to me. But I have Charizard, so I don't have a need for either of them, so I just go. Out in the fresh air of Cerulean City, I stop and shop for some repels. I don't think I'm ready for Misty, so we'll face our rival on Nugget Bridge for some tasty XP. The rest of the trainers up to Bill's place will give us much needed levels before we face the most dangerous gym for us. We help out Bill, and he gives us a ticket for more XP on the SSN. That new XP could be very, very valuable to us when facing against these water types. Obviously, we gotta do that before Misty's gym and face off against some dirtbag for a third time. His Pokemon are slightly buffer, but still can't hold up to our onslaught. It's time to learn Cut, replacing Rage with our Focus skill. And now it's time for Misty and her Swimmer Brigade. And it's a fight like no other. Thanks to all our hard work, we barely squeeze by. Surge is next, and I spend years fighting the trash can puzzle. Seriously, how long is this gonna take? I don't know what kind of crazy person designed this puzzle, but frankly, they have no respect for any kind of logic or time. Eventually we get to the gym leader, and despite his type advantage, he's easier than his trash. Unfortunately, he's also easier than a cave full of trainers and Pokemon, and a huge number of wrong turns. This struggle lasts a while, but finally, eventually, we make it to the welcoming light of Lavender Town and its multi-story graveyard. We sort out our PP problem and enter the tower, only to be ambushed by some dirtbag. The fight goes as expected, as his growing power is still no match for Charizard. But that's where our grave digging ends, as the ghosts are too much for us. Instead, we walk to Celadon and the game corner. We penetrate through their flimsy protection and slide through the back door. Now that we're inside of Team Rocket's nefarious hideout, well, we go around and around, fighting what we can, looking for a key that will let us take the elevator to our final destination. But upon the exit, we find two grunts in our path. Once our fiery lady takes down the guards, we go face to face with the big bad Giovanni himself. He's got 3 tanky Mons, but not tanky enough for the Dragon Lady. So now we can grab the Sylph Scope. Fuck. So we go to the mall, sell some things, and then grab the Ghost Goggles. Back in Lavender, we face off against another Rocket Gauntlet, all to save some old man Fuji, and get the Pokeflute for future encounters. But the immediate future looks a lot more like the immediate past, as we have to deal with a base full of rockets until we find the key hidden in the building. A few more grunts need to be taught lessons, and we make several more wrong turns before we get ambushed by a dirtbag. But Charizard teaches him a lesson he won't forget, or will, one-shotting all his Pokemon even after their power-ups. With him gone, it's one more guard until we have to face off against Giovanni himself. Again. His team is only slightly improved, and slightly isn't enough in the fiery face of Our Lady, so after getting the useless Master Ball, we teleport to Sabrina's gym. Her psychics are fast and have powerful special attacks, but not as fast or as special as we are. Next on the agenda is down south to Koga. I'm not as confident here, so I think it's a good time to heal up. This ninja could prove a problem with his tanky dodge strategy and whittling us down with Toxic. But poison gas turns out to be very flammable and we take that victory too. Next up is the Safari Zone. Another maze for me to get lost in, and I do get lost. My first attempt ends in a pathetic failure. Now, just to spoil it, my second attempt does too. So instead of watching my third attempt, let's look at some people who inspired me on this journey. Some of my favorite PokeTubers. Mr. Sausage and Potato McWhiskey. But the third time is the charm. We've explored basically everything else already. So at that point we just pick up the Surf HM, the Gold Teeth, and everything else we pass by. Our bag is looking pretty heavy though, so we have to drop off a bunch more items in the PC. You know, I think it's about time Charizard learned some new moves. But she doesn't want to forget how to cut. We can solve that easily enough by reminding her that she is a strong and capable flying lizard and all it takes is a trip to get fly. So we fly home, and it seems our pep talk wasn't enough to get her past her fear of water though. But she can fly. So we just fly to Cinnabar, obviously. We deal with another maze in the old lab, so check out my Patreon instead of me getting lost again. Oh wait, shoot. But we find ourselves a key and escape to Blaine's gym. There we have to answer questions, but the first one is a trick. Caterpie does and doesn't evolve into Butterfree. It's a stupid question. Blaine is a bad opponent with stupid questions. So we'll just skip to the last and scariest gym leader, Giovanni. Wait, him again? Oh yes, he's back and bulkier than ever with the whole gym by his side. We're not strong enough for one-shots, but he wasted the opportunities with guard specs and badge boosts. Since it's finally come up, the badge boost is a glitchy mechanic in the game that gives you boost because of badges. Literally, there is no other way to explain how it works. With all 7 badges, it's time for the Elite Four. Or it would be if some dirtbag wasn't in the way. His team still isn't fully evolved, and we put him in his place. Now that he's been defeated, hopefully that'll be the last time he interrupts us. So it's time for another damn maze. So it's time for the Elite Four. First up is Lorelei. We have the water weakness, but also we have the advantage, because ice is weak to fire. Definitely weak to fire in Gen 1. It definitely wasn't changed later. Don't look it up. Of her not insignificant team, Slowbro and Lapras are the only ones who have the chance to cause trouble, but they don't. And that's Lorelei down. Next is Bruno. It's a battle of muscle and mine is weak, but Charizard is enough to get through with minor injury. I guess that's goodbye to the number 2 Elite Four leader. The Agatha lottery comes up aces. That's how lotteries work, right? With fire for ghosts and claws for the rest, we have finally defeated the 3rd of the 5 Elite Four. Finally, it's the Battle of Dragons. We face Lance with a dragon soul of our own, even without the dragon type. The big blue worm with a Y goes down with a crit slash. Then comes Dragonair, who falls to a crit flamethrower. Then comes Dragonair, who falls to a critical flamethrower. Then comes Dragonair, Aerodactyl, who does not fall to a critical slash, but we're untouched and clear-headed. Then comes Dragonite. He takes a fly but gets a taste of a real Drake's fire. Now that we've shown Lance what a real dragon can do, there's only one battle left. The dirtbag may have cheated his way up to the top, but here's where his journey ends. First, we defeat the bird. Then we defeat the nerd. Alternating Fire and Claw, D's Nuts, Arcanine, Executor, all fall. But then comes Blastoise. We fly to dodge the Hydro Pump, but he goes for Withdrawal instead. He takes the fly and tries to freeze us with Blizzard. It fails and the end has come. We have become the champion, with a definitely not embarrassing 2 years, 7 hours, and 39 minutes. Actually, to be honest, this should have come out last year, so 3 years. Whoops! But I know why we're actually all here. It's the tier list. And I think our girl deserves S tier. S for Charizard. And so that's the end of this episode. I hope you had a few laughs. I'm glad if anyone stuck through this episode, and happy April Fools. This is Baz, signing out.